Hello friends, I'm going to tell you about my experience kite surfing Backyards, Oahu. Backyards is a legendary windsurfing spot from the 80s, and it is very treacherous, known to just destroy windsurfing gear and kite surfing gear. From an intermediate level of kite surfing, I'm going to tell you how to do it, how to survive, and give you a couple tips in case you're going to go out here. So basically, you walk down the beach, turn right, and there's a nice area to launch. Keep in mind the wind is pretty offshore here, so you should be able to self-land and self-launch because there's not going to be a whole bunch of kite surfers down here. So I'm an intermediate level kite surfer. I don't fly the kite very good, but I spent like 20 years surfing on the North Shore when I was a kid, so I'm fairly confident going out here kite surfing. If in doubt, do not go out because this spot is super treacherous. So there is a massive channel at Backyards, and you need to be careful here because it's super easy to get into the danger zone. What I basically did is I went out here, mowed the grass, got used to this crazy offshore wind, and then slowly worked my way in. Fortunately, there was a couple shredders out here, and my friend got some clips. You may know him, he's Rio Stevens. He's the absolute guru here, pulling into barrels. And simply watching him in that technique of flying the kite and punching through a 6-foot barrel, you will learn more in 2 minutes of watching this guy than 2 months of kiting alone. Another very important rule here, some of the locals told me, is don't kite here unless somebody's already out, because they basically know when it's doable and when it's not. I had a few kite mares trying to go out on iffy days, so basically just expect to go down there and hang out for many hours and wait for these guys to show up and enjoy the show. You'll also learn so much from these guys, like incredible. And I hope you can kite surf regular foot because it kind of sucks to ride this place backside like me. Another super important thing, keep in mind this is a surf spot. So he's basically weaving through the surfers here, and I guess they're okay with him. He's a pretty boss guy out here, knows what he's doing, but they were, to be honest, pretty pissed at me. And watch this guy's ability with the kite. It's just absolutely phenomenal. The waves were pretty big. It was like 6-foot Hawaiian, and he's just playing with it like it's 2-foot shore break. So one lesson to learn, he always keeps the kite very high. You don't want to fly the kite very low here because the wind can just suddenly drop and you have to loop the kite to power out of sections. Super important thing I learned from watching these guys for many hours, always keep that kite as high as possible. Basically, this is me kooking around on 11 meter and it's like 9 meter wind, and it sucks to go backside here, but you can do it. I spent probably an hour out there just kind of mowing the grass, taking my time. You do not want to get caught on the inside. You don't want to go for the first wave of the set. I've been just absolutely murdered out here on my windsurfing gear for going for the first wave of the set. Let's change the angle up. I had my friend Ryan DeSatius with Rhizone Media filming. He is an absolute legendary videographer, exceptional with the drone. So if you need drone work, his website is linked in the description. So this is me kite surfing at Backyards on the outside. I'm kind of coming into these second reef swells and they're feathering. I'm constantly watching the back because you never want to go for the first wave of the set here because you can get absolutely cleaned up because there's not much wind on the inside. I'm absolutely kooking it because I'm on an 11 and I'm way overpowered. I wish I had a 9 with me, but I only brought one kite. Essentially, the dangerous part of the wave is on the inside, so you can kind of play around with the outside second reef sets and then kick out early to the pleasure of the surfers. So keep in mind this is a surf spot and you don't want to piss them off. And it's much safer to just kind of ride the second reef feathering ones. Like that clip we watched earlier of Rio, he's just absolutely sending it on the dry reef sections on the inside. And keep in mind there's a lot more wind on the outside. So enjoying the water on the North Shore of Oahu, kite surfing out through Backyards is legendary. We can see V-Land, Revelations, Turtle Bay in the distance, this is one experience you will not forget, even if you're on the outside just kind of mowing the grass like me. I think one of the most important lessons of kite surfing backyards, if you've never been out here, is this place will lull you into a fake sense of security. As I'm coming in, I'm like, man, this is so fun and so easy. And you just have to be super cautious and super picky on which waves you take and which waves you go in on. So if you stick to the outside, it's pretty fun. You don't have to just send it off the lip. You can just kind of skirt the outside one and then kick out before it gets hairy on the inside. So backyards is such an interesting wave. It's so epic. You know, I'm not shredding because I'm so overpowered with my 11 meter, but one skill you absolutely have to kite surf here is to be able to kite loop. Even though I'm overpowered, I have to kite loop it to get some momentum to get back out. So do not go out here unless you can loop the kite. Basically, studying the good guys, Rio and Keahi, they just kite loop their kite constantly out there. And keep in mind, you better be pretty proficient in light wind because I'm either overpowered or diving the kite. There's no middle ground out here. No steady wind, typical offshore wind. Backyards, I can't recommend going out at this spot unless you're a super advanced kiter. But if you see the perfect wave up there in the right corner, that's called revelations. Go out there. It is much more civilized as far as wind, and you're gonna have a better time up there. It's just a little more difficult to get out there. I hope this video helps you in your backyard's expedition, because I wish someone had made this video before me. Fly your kite high. Make sure someone else is out and don't go on the inside. And make sure you know how to loop your kite and fly in light wind, and you'll have a good time.